Hi, this is Alan Emmerich from Victory Point Games, and I'm here to take you inside the new edition of our classic consulting detective card game, I Say, Holmes. Now let's look at some of these components up close. We'll start with the tiles. Here. These are the villain tiles. If you manage to get a villain to escape, you would score victory points at the end of the game for that. Villains, of course, are treacherous. They may escape for you today, for your opponent tomorrow, and then your opponent gets the villain. You need to know where you are in the world, in the country or the city, and whether you're moving, by train or by cab. Here, let's go to the city and travel around by cab, shall we? You might receive a telegram from one of your opponents, which is no gift, because telegrams frequently give you negative victory points. I Say tokens are what you play when you commit an I Say card at the appropriate juncture in the story to raise the dramatic stakes. And when you do that, you earn an I Say token, and it will give you victory points at the end of the game as well. So you want to get a set of these. You can only have a maximum of one each: hat, pipe, and spyglass. What you're going for in this game is to try and solve the case. And when you solve a case, you'll score the number of points up in this corner in each player's hand, and the more points you score, the better the case you solve. Now, that's some of the basic card types. All stories require movement, so to move around, we have trains, we have cabs, there's fog to look out for, foot chases, boat chases. When you arrive, you'll arrive in either the city, and that may take you anywhere from Baker Street to Scotland Yard to Fleet Street. Look out, the press is not your friend. Or the country. You might arrive in England, a village, a manor, a castle. Once you get there, you will require information. You can have information cards, such as a clue, a disguise, or cast suspicions, or send that dreaded telegram to an opponent. Every piece of the story is easily followed by the next piece of the story, which your opponent plays, and the story goes around the table. When you're ready to pounce, you take action. You call in a detective to make an arrest, the constabulary, and you put your opponents to the test to see if they're holding a villain in their hands. The villains, Holmes's Rogues Gallery. Here you will see the likes of Moriarty and Milverton, John Clay, Colonel Moran. These rogues might get away, even if you think you found them. They may have an alibi or prove to be a mastermind and put you in danger. And then, of course, there are our heroes, such as Holmes, Watson, Mycroft, and others in the Holmes universe, including the Prime Minister. Hey, what's he doing here? Well, some cases are really big and important. All right. Now let's show you how you set up and how you play. Now the counters begin in the middle of the table where everyone can access them. And then you sort through the cards and you look for these little numbers in the corners. This tells you how to set up the game in an instant. The game is for 3 to 8 players. So all you'd have to do is look for the cards with that number of players or less. For instance, if you had 6 players in the game, you pull out all the cards numbered 3 through 6. Those cards will be dealt out as each player's starting hand. In this case, we got the cards ready for a 4-player game, so all of the cards with numbers 3 or 4 are included in the initial deal-out stack. Note that the initial deal-out stack will always include the game is afoot. That tells whoever receives this card in their hand that they are the first player, and the first villain is already seeded into the deck, and that, of course, is the evil Mr. Milverton. All right. These cards are going to be shuffled and dealt out. The rest of the cards that were not used in setup are mixed in with the remaining to form the deck. Now, I ask you to use your imagination and imagine that these are the 4 players' hands dealt out. Of course, these would be dealt out to real human beings and not me. Hey, wait. And each player would be holding their cards in secret, not sharing information with the other players. The player who begins with this card, the game is afoot, goes first. And they would put that card down and play it over to the next player clockwise, who has to follow the story. The story must be followed with any travel card. So we would move over here, and this player looks for a travel card. And they have a train and a hansom cab. Well, let's see. They'll play the hansom cab card. So now they'll say to you, the story is a hansom cab. The game is afoot is no longer the current card, so we'll put it here in the discard pile. the current card, the active card, is passed over to this player, who now has the following options: to move to any similar location, another location in the city, or to play a dense fog card. So over here, this person is going to look for a city location. Oh, and they have two. They have London and Scotland Yard. So this player is going to say, well, let's go to London. Hansom Cab is no longer the current card. London is now the current card, and it goes to this player. This player has myriad options, according to this card. They can play an arrest, the constabulary, send a telegram, use a clue, or begin the travels once again. So over here they look and they say, well, let's see. Ah, 2 clue cards. Well, even though this player is hiding the villain, nobody has to know that. So this character, you're a character. This player will play a clue card, probably a character too, looking for a telegram, detective, a disguise, or cast suspicion. So we'd go round and round telling the story, looking at cards, casting suspicions, making arrests, sending telegrams, until someone can make an arrest or go out. So that's what it's all about, my friends. Heroes and villains, and the wherewithal to solve the case. I say, Holmes, come, Watson, quickly, the game is afoot. Let's see some live action gameplay now.
Well, okay.
I can totally see your hand, like, big time, by the way.
He's cheating. He's being a detective.
I'm trying so hard not to cheat, but I'm suspicious.
Cheater.
It's in my blood. It really is.
We're cabinet.
Okay, so we're going to somewhere else in the city.
We are.
Barry, welcome to the Scotland Yard.
Oh, goody.
And
Okay.
you get to select an opponent to draw 2 cards because you played Scotland Yard.
Are we not moving anymore?
Correct.
You should take 2 cards.
Should I?
Yeah.
Man.
Should, if you must.
All right. Well, I can actually play an I Say card.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, this one is play only following a city location card, draw 1 card, which I will do. All opponents secretly show you their highest valued card. All right, let's start with Josh. Ooh. Well then. Okay.
Make evil eyes at me.
And then-
How dare you?
You've got no poker face.
And then it says, continue per the previous card. So, this continues on to Josh.
Okay. You know, Dion's hand's getting pretty small.
No, that's fine.
And he looks shifty.
Never.
And I can totally play an arrest card.
You shouldn't do it.
I think you should.
No, I
really
should.
think you
I should totally play an arrest card on Dion.
Oh.
So, I can see your hand.
You've got no alibi?
Oh. Okay, so Dion didn't have a villain. So now what I get to do is I get to take his 3 cards and they get added to my hand.
Oh, man.
And now Dion gets to draw another 3 cards.
I wish I kept those 3 cards. Yeah.
And
Stop looking so shifty.
Yeah, I know.
the arrest goes in front of Noelle now, so she gets to play off of that one. Oh man, I botched that one.
Why do you think I look so suspicious all the time?
Because you look suspicious.
Never.
Look at the camera. Come on. I'm guessing the audience thinks that he looks suspicious.
It's true.
Anyways.
I had them, of course. They're suspicious. Okay. In response to your clue, I'm going to play suspicion, and Dion's going to draw a card.
Ooh.
No. Okay.
Oh, no, I have to arrest you.
You'll never get me alive, copper.
With all those alibis. I was at a baseball game.
Yeah. I was
It's-
walking in public.
It's-
At midnight, people saw me.
It's England. It's not a baseball game. It's a cricket match.
Oh, hold on. Edit. I was watching a cricket match.
All right. Well, then.
Oh. What are we doing, Noel?
This is our operations manager, by the way. He runs everything.
This is a very serious organization.
Well, I say, Holmes.
Oh.
What does Holmes say?
Holmes, I can play only while we're not moving. I select an opponent to secretly show me all of their cards. I arrest if they're guilty, and no alibi card can be used. I am going to have Josh show me all his cards. I've arrested Josh.
Darn it!
Mr. Woodley, I presume.